Hello to the people of Trinity Cathedral. My name is B.J. Owens. I'm the Dean of Trinity in downtown Cleveland, Ohio. A number of years ago, New Yorker cartoonist Roz Chast wrote a personal memoir. Of course, it was in comic format, about her experience of caring for her parents as they neared the end of their life and then after they died, doing everything from sorting through the stuff they had to her own process of working through that. The book is titled, and this is classic Roz Chast, if any of you read her stuff in the New Yorker, it's called Can't We Talk About Something More Pleasant? Which understandably talks about the title itself talks about our reluctance to talk and think and look at our own mortality, to talk about what it means to think through the end of our lives, what it means to die, but also what it means to live. Well, Jeff Spiess is a member of Trinity Cathedral who has written a book called Dying with Ease, a compassionate guide to making end-of-life decisions. To making wiser end-of-life decisions. And many of you who know Jeff, Dr. Spiess has served as an oncologist and as a palliative physician leading hospice care here in Northeast Ohio. And his book is a really profound story, exploration, not only of very practical advice about if you or a loved one has been given a troubling diagnosis, and know that it's time to be talking about whether it's hospice care or really looking at carefully at asking how do I want those last days and weeks to go? How do I want to die? And allowing us, it's a really warm story that not only talks about the clinical side of this, but the very human and spiritual side of it. Because how we ask that question, how do we want to go through these last days of our lives, which is itself a holy and sacramental passage, is really asking the question of how do we want to live? How do we want to ask the really deeper spiritual questions in moments where it really matters? Saint Benedict, in his rules, the rule for the monks that followed his way of life, this is going back to the 4th century, said, keep death before you daily. That doesn't mean to be grim about it or walk through our lives afraid, but simply realize that this life has limits. And that by understanding that, by thinking about that, we can actually live life to its fullest, while also claiming the hope of the resurrected life that will enter the nearer presence of God's love, and that there is more to this life, more to this story than what we see today. That should shape how we live our lives. That should shape how we navigate frightening moments that we're in right now. Doesn't mean that we walk through life without fear or anxiety. We're still human. But it does offer a wider lens, a bigger story, to realize that our story is a part of this larger story. And asking these questions is important. Well, this Sunday, our Trinity Forum is with Dr. Spiess. And I hope you'll be a part of this conversation. It's a wonderful book. If you have a chance to pick it up and read it, you can order it. You can read it on Kindle. I recommend it for anybody, of course, because this is an experience we're all going to go through. But also for anybody who might be caring for someone who is nearing the end of their life. Or we know this is a part of reality of caring for family members. And doing this work helps us to be better, more compassionate, more loving caregivers for those who are nearing the end of their own lives. I invite you to join me as I sit in conversation with Jeff Spiess this coming Sunday at 11:30. We'll be broadcasting it through the channels that we usually do. But I welcome you. Hope you'll be a part of it. And lifting up this question not only of how do we talk through and make wise end-of-life decisions, but what does that teach us about how we live, about how we love one another, about how we welcome and invite and really see the presence of God in every moment. I give thanks for each and every one of you. I'm holding you in my prayers. I continue to invite your prayers, and I give thanks for those as well.